Alright everybody, so this is part 1 of my how to make a Minecraft Bedrock server series. So in this video I go over a couple of things. Specifically I go over how to make a Minecraft Bedrock server. So the piece of software that I use is the official Minecraft Bedrock server software that was made by Mojang in late 2018, I think. And if you want to go to the website to download that, the link will be in the description down below. So in part 1 here, I'm going to be talking about port forwarding and downloading and installing the server. So if you don't know what port forwarding is basically making it so people who are connecting through the IP are not blocked by your router or anything like that. Basically, it allows people to join your server from off the network, so you don't necessarily need to use it if you are going to do a local server. But if you're going to do something that you want to join with friends off of the network or something like that, then you're going to want to port forward. And then in part 2, we talk about the dot properties and the commands for the server, which is pretty good to watch. It goes over certain settings that can be in the dot properties file, such as turning off the whitelist, turning off and on the whitelist, changing the difficulty, changing the game mode and all that sort of stuff, changing the default permissions of a player. All that sort of stuff can be changed in the dot properties, and I go over all of those commands in there. And I also go over different console commands. And then in part 3, I just do like a sort of wrap-up video to wrap up some things, talk about a couple server limitations that I've come across, talk about some things that can happen in the server if you're not running it on the best computer, just to give you a little heads up about what can happen, such as lagging chests if you fill it completely to the brim with shulker boxes that are filled with diamond weapons. So yeah, I hope you guys like this little series here, and if you do like the series, give it a little thumbs up on all the videos, hopefully. And yeah, I will see you all in the rest of this video. So you will need either a Windows 10 computer or an Ubuntu computer, and you should be able to use Windows 7 as well. So to download the server, you will have to check the checkbox beside the I agree to the Minecraft End User License Agreement and Privacy Policy, and then click Download, and then that will download it. And when that is done, just go to the Downloads folder or wherever it installed to, and then you will want to unzip it to whatever location you want to unzip it to. Okay, so I'm in my Downloads folder here, and as you can see, we got the Bedrock server 1.14.32.1, and this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the game version that it works with. So what you want to do is right click it, click extract all, and then click extract. Okay, so now once that is done, you should have the Bedrock server here, and it's just a file and not a zipped file. So you can double click it, check if you got all the files and everything. Alright, now once that is done, you're going to want to open a new tab in your browser. You can close the server download, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to search my IP address to figure out what your public IP address is. And then click the first link, I guess, and then when it comes up here, allow notifications, just click no thanks, exit out of that, and then this should be your IP address right here, and I have it blacked out for security purposes. So yeah, it will be right here, and that will be something that you'll need to take note of, so write that down somewhere. Okay, so once you have figured out your public IP address, you're also going to want to figure out what your local IP address is, and also what the router's IP address is. Okay, so to find your public or your local IP address, you'll want to go to Network and Internet, and then under Status, it says your internet type, which mine is Ethernet, and then I click here where it says Network, and then down here I have this stuff blacked out here so you cannot see it for privacy and security reasons again. And then the router's IP address will be next to IPv4 DNS servers, and it will be right here. And then your computer's local IP address will be right above that IPv4 address, and it will be right above the router's IP address. And for the most part, the beginning of the IP address should look very similar. For me, it's just the last two numbers that are different. Okay, so now that we have the router's IP address and your computer's local IP, then what you want to do is you want to do some port forwarding. So we're going to want to forward the port that Minecraft uses for servers, which is 19132. And if you're like living with your parents or something, you might want to get their permission or have them help you to do this. So what you are going to want to do in this search bar, you are going to want to enter your router's IP address. And then once you do that, it should ask you for a username and password. And this really depends on what you have it set for. So I'm going to go ahead and enter mine and show you how to do port forwarding on the specific router that I have. Alright, so as you can see, I am using a Netgear Orbi router. So a lot of this stuff that you don't need to see is going to be blacked out so you cannot see it. So if you're using an Orbi router or any Netgear router, the interface here should be very similar. You're going to want to go to Advanced. It's usually in an advanced area if for any router. And you want to go to Advanced Setup. That's where it is. Yeah, port forwarding / port triggering. Now, once you find the port forwarding area, this is where it gets a little interesting depending on what router you have. Okay, so to port forward, as you can see, I already have a port forwarded right here for 19132, but we're going to go ahead adding in a port to port forward. So you would click Add a Custom Service, and again, this is specific to the router I have. So once in your router, if you have found a screen sort of like this, just type in whatever service name you want. So I just do like Minecraft server here, TCP/UDP for the protocol, and the external port range should be 19132. And then if you have two spaces to put an actual range into it, instead of it telling you to use like a dash to separate them, then you will want to do 19132 and then 19132 in the second box. And then if that doesn't work, you can try 19131 and 19133. So once that is done, your router most likely has an option to specify which internal or local IP address you want it to be port forwarded to. So that would be your computer's local IP address. So you will put that in here. And then that should have went over the basics of port forwarding fairly well. And again, it can be pretty complicated if you are new to server hosting or anything like that to mess with the IP address. But once you've got it down, it's fairly easy to do. And yeah, I wish you guys luck with that. Okay, so by the end of this video, you should have learned how to port forward and have downloaded the Minecraft server software, plus you should have extracted it. So if you have all that done, you have completed this little video in my series on how to create a Minecraft Bedrock server. And the port forwarding is only needed if you are going to do online hosting. If you're just going to do local hosting for like people who are on your internet, then you will not need to complete the port forwarding. But if you want to host to a different network than yours and not a local network, then you will want to port forward. So if you are wanting to play with friends who are not going to be on the same network as you at the time, then you will want to do port forwarding. Or if you want to do a full public server and try to get it as popular as you can, you will want to do port forwarding. As without port forwarding, people who are not on your network will not be able to join the server. I hope you all liked this video, and I will see you all in the next video.